Welcome back, everybody. Got Tommy here from Fitzgerald Peterbilt, semi-casual also. We've got a brand new, not to be sold yet, on loan from Peterbilt, 589. Am I wrong?
No, it's not entirely wrong. This one is just completely on loan. This one won't be, I think, available for sale ever. I'm pretty sure this is just like a demo truck. Yeah. They take it to truck shows, they show it around to everybody, and this particular one, it's just here for our semi-casual truck show that's happening this weekend. And Bruce saw it on the lot and said, "Hey man, let's take it for a ride."
I was like, "Give me that thing." So I actually drove this one when we went to Denton for the reveal.
Yeah. They had this one out on the speedway. This is one of the ones that they were driving around.
But they were like rushing guys in and out, you know, because they had a lot of people. So now we get to spend a true in-depth review on this truck. Yeah. Check it out and see all the things that are different from the 389 to the 589, things that I like. And maybe we'll get some truckers around here and get their opinion on it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that'd be a great idea. So
that'd be neat.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna get this thing pulled in the shop. It got shipped here, so we gotta put some stacks on it, get it washed up, and start just tearing it apart and see what we think about it, don't like about it. I mean, what do you think?
You know, there's a lot I love about it, and there's a few things that, you know, I wish could change, but everybody I talk to, it seems like they have small things that they wish was different about it, which means I think as a whole it's not a complete miss, right?
I don't think so.
No, at all, not at all. I mean, this one's a short hood, so it's not a good representation of what the 589 is going to be. This is what I would consider more of like a 588 or a short hood 589.
Yeah.
But all that being said, everybody I talk to, you know, there's some guys that say, "Hey, I wish I had a split windshield," or "Hey, I wish it had this," or "I wish it had that." But nobody says, I've not heard anybody say that it's an absolute complete miss yet.
I don't think so, and especially, you know, it could have been an aero truck with a nice sloped hood or something like that. But we still have the big, huge grille on the front.
There's still a
nice flat face bumper, exactly, flat nose. So with all that being said, we're gonna get this thing pulled in the shop, get it cleaned up, and
put some stacks on it,
dude. Yes, let's do it right now.
Let's go. Bruce, you got to drive at 200 feet. How does it feel?
It's very nice on the inside. I like it.
What do you think about the clutch?
Should we show them?
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone really knows this, right? If anyone's pushed a traditional semi-truck clutch pedal down, you know, it's like all the force of your leg sometimes. But look at this. One finger it. Oh!
So smooth.
So it's got we should double check, but it's either got a hydraulic clutch or an air clutch. I'm pretty sure it's hydraulic. That would make the most sense. So that's one massive driver comfort change right there. Getting stuck in a traffic jam, something like that with an 18 speed.
18 speeds, there it is. Always 18 speeds.
That's the only reason we let them bring it here, because it has an 18 speed.
Yeah, it can't come to the semi-casual shop unless it's an 18.
Yeah. So that's just one little thing you get to find out. Let's get this thing stacks on it, get it washed up. And like I said, we're going to get some honest reviews. This is the most honest review I feel we're going to have on a 589.
All right, let's do it.
All right, guys, so we got the 589 pulled out of the shop. I got a special guest here, Mr. Chad Berry with Berry Trucking.
How's it going?
And you guys can check him out on YouTube. I'll put a little click on the bottom down here. But we're just trying to get some honest reviews from some longtime truck drivers.
Yeah.
On what they think about the new 589. So I think you were at Denton with us, right?
Yes.
So you got to see this,
Yep.
but we didn't get to like dive into this thing. So
No, we didn't really have a lot of time.
maybe we dive into this together, and we're gonna find some other truck drivers while here at the semi-casual show, but we're gonna give you first rip at it. Let's see what you think. What do you like about the crossover between the 589 and 389, and maybe the comfort of it, because you've got long nose trucks and you've got, you know, aerodynamic trucks, right, in your fleet. So maybe you can have a more honest opinion of this truck.
Well, I mean, it's
without
like
being
anything.
too biased.
There's pros and cons.
Yeah, of course. So
I mean,
well, let's dive into it and see what you think. All right, so starting at the front, you know, if you look at this truck head on, right, the biggest thing that sticks out is going to be the windshield. You know, other than that, if it didn't have the one-piece windshield, it'd look like a 389.
Yeah, I think
from the front.
I mean, I get why they did it.
Yeah.
But it's just something we just got to grow with the times. It's just the way it is. Peterbilt makes a great product. That's for sure. So I don't know.
All right, so you got my side. I think it looks like a 389 other than the windshield.
Yep.
We'll go to the side of it and see what you think about maybe the breathers, the short nose. We've never seen a long nose. Well, I say we've never seen a hood style Peterbilt with a hood this short. Like this is shorter than a 388.
It is short. It is short. I mean, if you're talking about in the city or like logging.
Yeah, of course.
Tight stuff. I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
But
it'd be a solid truck for that kind of work.
I don't know how it rides with a short hood. I would think the long hood would ride a little better because of wheelbase.
Yeah.
But I think for them, Peterbilt builds a great product. They got to start somewhere, and I think it's a good start. I really do.
We could have lost the hood altogether. You know, that's what I've been telling a lot of people. It's like a lot of people don't like the cab, but we still have the hood. Even though it's really short, there is a long nose version of this truck.
Yep.
This is just the short nose. I don't know if it's going to be called a 588. Maybe it's a 588.
588?
Maybe. We don't know.
Could be.
So this truck is on loan from Peterbilt just for the semi-casual show here this weekend on this Saturday. The back of the truck, there really isn't anything different than I can tell. I mean, it's just a Peterbilt. If you go from the frame down, drivetrain, stuff like that, it's pretty much the same. Mainly just the cab difference, maybe some way the exhaust is mounted.
You know.
So
both sides are hooked up.
Yeah, active stacks from the factory, right?
Yeah.
And something I noticed is you see that, what do you want to call that thing in there?
Bellow.
Bellow, there you go.
Bellow.
So there's a bellow inside there, so the stacks are mounted solid to the frame and mounted solid to the cab. There's just a bellow, so whenever you move the cab up and down, the bellow just kind of absorbs it. Yeah. Pretty crazy. Look at these back here, though. You ever seen some LED lights like that?
No, I have not.
That might be something, you know, new and popular coming up. It's different. I don't know how they look at night, but you know, most of the new 389s have all incandescent bulbs. There's no LEDs anywhere in those trucks. Like we even have LED interior lights. That's never been a thing before.
Mm-hmm.
We finally got with the times.
Well, they don't, you know, you don't burn yourself on this light when you get in.
When you get in. You're not wondering if the plastic's going to melt like a 389.
There's a lot of room in there.
Yeah, there is.
Honestly, people are going to think I'm weird, but I have a 389.
Yep.
Have had them for years. I like the wider cab.
Yeah.
But I also like the room when I'm going out on the road, which I'm not really much anymore, but I like the wider cab, more space.
It makes sense too.
You know, I'm not necessarily a fan of the big windshield, but it has to kind of go with it.
If you could have a truck that looked like a 389 on the outside, but had this interior, you would have the 589 on the windshield.
Yeah.
And you know what this truck has that the 389 doesn't have? I mean, the 389 has one of them. Can you tell me what it is?
The 389
has one, and this truck has 4 total.
I don't know.
Cup holders.
Cup holders. Well, you got all that space.
Yeah.
So you need more cup holders.
You got a cup holder for your spitter up here, your coffee, and your Red Bull.
Yeah.
And your passenger spitter.
No, that's, you know, the candy bar wrappers. You roll them up, you just throw them over there, and you don't see them.
Yeah. So that's a big thing. You know, the 389 has a cup holder that, if you put anything in it other than a huge tumbler cup or something, it just spills right out. So that's been huge. We'll hop in there. I'm going to go to the other side and we'll see what you think about everything. The first rip starting this thing up, it's super quiet. Like, other than the vibrations a little bit. Maybe hit the cruise and just bump the idle up a little bit. It gets even quieter.
Other way.
Other one right there. Set. Hit set.
I did hit it. I don't
you
like technology.
Well, this one has a PACCAR engine in it too.
Yeah. I have one.
I'm not sure which PACCAR engine it is, but
I don't dislike them. They're quieter, they get better fuel mileage. They still have an 1850 torque rating.
Yep. And Peterbilt outfitted this thing with an 18 speed.
Yeah, it's got a great button. Just
crazy.
for Tommy.
Just for the Fitzgerald crew, yeah. So this truck, I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Has got a fifth wheel lock from inside the cab. So you can hit that button right there, hold it down, and you'll see the fifth wheel lever just pop right out.
Yeah.
But if only I had a button to hit for someone to hop out under your airlines, that'd be all the difference.
And landing gear.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But this, you know, sample truck, we'll call it. It's kind of spec. You know, it's got locking rears and everything.
It's roomy. It's quiet.
It is quiet.
I think they're on to something. I mean, air cleaners, you got to have air cleaners.
It wasn't a miss.
So how do you know, like they did their best to with what they had, I think.
Now something else, I don't know if you noticed, press that clutch pedal down.
Hydraulic clutch.
Hydraulic clutch.
Yeah. Yep. My
you can get used to that in traffic.
Well, it's something to learn because you get in and you forget about it and you about push the clutch to the radiator. But
yeah, all the pedals come from
nice.
Up top now. You know, compared to through the floor where your brake and everything is through the floor like normal, and your punch pedals through the floor. So
everything's easy to reach. Everything's right here. There's leg room.
If you're sitting there facing forward, right, like you're driving, do you feel like you can see all the switches right here with no issues?
I do.
Have to strain?
I do. You know, it could be out a little bit more, but it's not horrible.
Maybe that's something that a company could, you know, come out with where they just angle these slightly for, you know, driver comfort at the end of the day.
And they've got USB chargers.
Pretty crazy, right?
Everybody else should pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention big time.
Pay attention.
Look at that.
Yep.
We've got a thermostat in this truck.
Yeah, that is nice. You could set it to whatever temp you want because it's hot down here.
It is hot. And on a 389, we're kind of comparing the two of them here.
Yep.
On 389, on level 1, right, on the least amount of air pressure, it will freeze you out of the cab if you're not
it will, yeah.
Like, all the way down. And then if you start moving your thermostat, which you don't have, you know, degree on the 389 one, it's like either too hot or, you know, too cold.
And honestly...
And that's not even turned all the way down. You can still go towards just... You guys may think you want a lot of airflow, but when this cab's cooled down, it's an icebox.
And I think, like, your 389, or both of yours, on the first setting, it's almost too high, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So this actually goes down a little bit lower.
It goes down low enough.
So you don't even hear it. Like
once the cab's cooled down, it makes a big difference. So
it probably takes a little bit more to cool this cab because of all the glass.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a plus.
There's all kinds of different things in here, that's for sure.
Yeah. Look, the windshield just got smaller.
Right? Hey. We're getting there.
And
it looks like it's got a rail that's built in up here, so you can put like a cab curtain in here or something.
Yep.
So that's something to take note of too.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. Yeah. LEDs.
Your door must be open.
I think so.
My dash says so. There we go.
Yeah, nice LED lights up here. That's different.
What do you think about the digital dash?
I don't hate it, you know, because like all the the two Pete's that I've got, whenever I bought those, they had digital dashes, so I never got used to the old style. I've had a lot of people say that they don't like how this truck only has a 6-pack of gauges, but with the digital dash, you really don't need gauges. And I don't mean to rain on everybody's parade; they're there.
Yeah. But
the other, 10 that you would have had in the other truck, or 8 more, do you really look at them that much?
That's exactly how I ordered my 680 when I ordered it with it's digital dash, but I ordered gauges instead of smart nav. I didn't want smart nav.
Of course, yeah.
I like the gauges.
Yeah, so we've got your pretty standard gauges there. You want the digital dash, which you can't see with the reflection, but it's got everything you need in there, and then some too.
Yeah, you can flip the different screens. A little bit I know about them, but
makes a world of difference for sure.
Sure does.
And looking out over the hood, right? You still, I mean, this hood is actually more flat.
Yeah.
Maybe because we're sitting up higher, I don't know. But
Right.
you can almost have dinner right there on that table.
But is this a production model? Like,
This is going to be a production model truck, yes.
but like, is this like obviously? How do I say this? This is an early model.
Mhm.
Maybe they're going to change it a little bit, or don't you think?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
But I know this is the short hood version of
Yep.
the trucks.
Yep.
You know, when we were in Denton, we saw the long hood version. Yeah, I got to drive.
Yep.
I drove a few, the flat
Yeah.
top truck, I think.
Yep.
Which was the long nose, which this one, so we'll hop out right quick, check out the engine, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with fenders. So this truck is legendary black and red, and what I'm pointing out here is the short nose, the fenders are cut by like 2/3, right? And they leave the other third down here, which is really similar to the 579 trucks,
Yep.
because it's a short hood and the engine's further up underneath the cowling there. So, PACCAR engine. Do you know where to find the horsepower at on these things? Is it on the other side? I'm not familiar with the PACCARs.
Yeah,
PACCAR, for anyone
it's-
that's wondering, is built by PACCAR, who is the parent company of Peterbilt and Kenworth.
I don't know. This is all foreign to me too.
Spring
I have
ride,
one,
front end.
but I don't know anything about them other than you just drive it.
So something a lot of people have been pointing out is the air breather system.
Yeah.
It's
these are
completely
definitely-
different, you know, because they're not coming in from the top because you got a lot of electronics right here. So that makes a big difference.
The only thing I'm worried about, based on where I live, it gets really cold. So
Yeah.
you've got hot air coming from the top of the engine, you're coming down here away from the engine.
Yeah.
That could be bad news with cold air. You know
Okay.
what I'm getting at, like condensation
Yep,
and stuff.
yep.
I don't know if it's ever going to be an issue, but
Maybe there'll be heated air cleaners on the ones that
heated
come out.
air cleaners.
That could be something. You never
Yeah.
know.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so the one thing I've noticed is like you've changed fuel filters on your PACCAR. Is this
Yeah.
filter really long or is it kind of a shorter filter? Because I'm wondering if there's going to be an issue with it hitting that pipe.
Honestly, I've never changed fuel filters on it yet.
Really?
It's got
So it's a newer truck then?
2024.
Okay.
It's got like 70,000 miles on it. I run my filters out of ways, but
Well, you've got the gauge in there that tells you
Yep.
when to change them too.
restriction
So
gauge.
follow
The oil
instructions.
filters. One thing new with the newer PACCARs
Yeah.
versus the older, you only got one oil filter.
Really? Okay.
So
Well,
yeah.
Cummins only has one oil filter too.
yeah, PACCAR for a while had two,
Really? Okay.
from what I understand.
And the inside of the hood over here is still, I mean, it's all aluminum hood, you know? You've got your aluminum fenders and all that good stuff. Not a massive amount has changed. I do like the grill. It's, you know, it's different than the traditional 389 grill. So they changed up that pattern, but we don't know if this is like the for sure stuff that's going to be in these trucks.
Yeah, yeah. This is
Production.
kind of a pre-production.
This truck was built October of 22.
Yeah.
So, been around a little while, and it only has 400 miles on it, which is crazy. Something else we didn't really notice, Chad, was this thing's got the same style box on this side as it does the other side.
Yeah, I did.
Grab that latch. Let's pull this box cover off.
I did notice that on
Let's see what's behind
the Denton trip. That
Chad built a really sick dump truck, and we'll give you guys a quick clip of that in a minute. And you put the same box on both sides of the dump
Yes.
truck, so
these are a little bit different.
I
though.
don't hate this either because you've got battery box and some storage.
Well, the biggest thing is they're up where you can get at them.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not. Well, of course, our trucks are a little
Yeah.
lower, but
Still running 3 batteries. You probably could put 4 in there. Maybe that's gonna be an option to order it
Yeah.
with 4 batteries, I'm sure. So giant step box on this side to match the other side, which I've seen some people customizing 389s and they're putting the big box on both sides like we did with the dump truck.
yeah. I'm sure the burner's under the other box.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
But at least they match.
And
Like,
they match.
my head goes
Yeah.
the minute it don't match.
It drives you a little crazy.
Yeah.
But just the big windshield. Some people are worrying with issues with snow and things like that. I'm not sure.
Well,
But,
but I mean that's the
it's
same
freezing up.
windshield
That's
as
in,
a 579,
in every other Peterbilt
567.
out there. Yeah.
I think the 680s.
Literally
probably
every production
close.
model other than a 389 these are in.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest reason Peterbilt went to this cab, when we toured the factory, they said it takes 40 man hours, which is a lot. When you're building a truck on an assembly line
Yeah.
to assemble a cab with hug rivets.
You know,
And then these were built with Did you see the
Blue.
robots? These are built with like
Robots
3 or 4
and-
robots in blue.
I call it panel bond, it's
Yeah.
blue, but in 2016 I toured the factory and they already told us at that point they knew they were getting rid of the 389 cab, the
Yeah.
1.9 meter cab. So they've been doing this for a while.
Thoughts have been there for, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, you know, if you only have one model out of your maybe 5 or 6 models Peterbilt offers that has one time-consuming cab to build, when you can have every single truck share the same cab, in theory, we would think prices may come down on the trucks.
In theory.
Maybe in theory,
In
because it
theory.
takes less time to build.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. We don't know the
Yeah.
pricing structure on these new trucks yet whatsoever.
You know how the price comes down? You got to buy 10 of them.
Hey, I mean,
Then
What-
maybe.
what if we went around to 8 other friends and we got a group buy?
I don't know if I got 8 friends.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a solid, honest review from a
Yes.
trucker, Barry Trucking. You can check him out on YouTube, guys. We're gonna walk around here. There's all kinds of cool trucks showing up for the truck show. Lots of trucks here that Fitzgerald has that are sold. Guys are picking up. So, well, Mr. Barry, thank you guys. Subscribe
Thank
to
you.
him. Check him out if you
Yeah.
haven't already. All right, guys, we're down here in the back building where we're getting ready for some really cool activities here at the Semi-Casual Truck Show this Saturday here in Crossville, Tennessee. And I've brought in Jared, the owner of PDI. We've been working with these guys on some parts for the Tratter Taxi and our X15 Cummins engines. And I wanted to get his honest review of the Peterbilt 589. So at first look, what strikes you? Like, what is like, oh my gosh, this is totally different?
Well, Bruce, it's definitely a different change. I mean, even sitting in the cab, having the big window, definitely the cab's more comfortable, I think, a little bit bigger.
Can't deny that.
For us as a parts manufacturing going forward and performance parts, we're definitely going to have to go to the engineering board to figure out some stuff. I know there's some up and coming engine configurations that are changing next year,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have to build parts for it. So, you know, PDI is gonna have to retain one of these 589s. There is some similarities that I see to the Aero trucks as
Yep.
we were looking under the hood. The air conditioning box, blower motor type stuff is in the same application like on your current blue truck that we're gonna be putting some parts on
Yeah,
here
yeah,
in
of
the
course.
future. That parts would not fit on this cab configuration.
Well, let's pop the hood right quick and talk about that, because
Okay.
when Mr. Barry and I were looking at it, I didn't even think nothing about the HVAC system and stuff. I think we might have touched on the intake piping, but like you said, that is definitely a big difference for this style cab, because this stuff is all inside the cab, you know,
Yes,
on a
they-
389.
Right, they've definitely moved this out here, which is similar to the Aero trucks,
Yeah.
you know, and 579 actually has this and even some of the other configurations. So I did notice that the exhaust manifold that's on it is actually on this PACCAR engine is the same configuration as what we currently just released.
Okay.
But intake piping, a few different things. I'm sure when we see the Cummins application in this is definitely going to have some changes
Yeah.
of maybe where the engine sits forward or back in the actual frame rail. You know, I think it's kind of exciting when new product comes out. I mean, everybody is on the fence of definitely the look.
Got to get your hands on
you
one,
know,
start doing some
maybe,
R&D.
you know, yeah, you know, I think it's going to be an exciting time to see what people can actually build, because we all know how cool the 389 was after
Yeah.
everybody
Got their
bagged on it
hands on
for
it.
a little bit of while, and I think everybody now thinks the 389 is the coolest machine out
Coolest thing since sliced bread. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've got the 589, which Tommy and you guys were just talking about how no one wanted that 389 to come out. When it did come out, everybody hated it. No one was going to buy it, and now
Right.
it's like the most sold Peterbilt truck ever.
there. Right.
And now I've got the 589, and I think there's a little bit more changes compared from the 379 to the 389 change. They're pretty similar trucks. This one is a lot different. You know, the cabs, the construction of the cab's way different. The hood, even though this is a short nose, you know, this thing is. We should break out a tape measure, because this hood is at least a foot wider at the cab, no doubt, compared
Right.
to the 389. So that's a massive difference. But the interior sound,
Yeah,
It's
it
like
was. Yep,
completely
quiet.
quiet.
I think it's going to be a challenge for everybody to make a cool truck, but I think that it's going to be. I mean, I'm sure semi-casual will be able to handle that for sure.
I think so. And something else I want to make note of is I've noticed, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. PACCAR is the parent company of Kenworth and Peterbilt. They're going to be pushing these PACCAR engines pretty dang hard on these new trucks, I think.
Right.
So, I mean, have you noticed anything other than, making a manifold? Are you guys going to be, is there any products you're thinking about coming out with and designing for these PACCAR engines?
We're currently working on engine tuning for them,
Okay.
and getting past. I've noticed that this has a different ECM as of the 2017 or 2018 model. I know this has the same ECM as the 2020, 21, 22.
Okay.
But I do see some changes there, and there may be some changes that we have to make. But we will be making a turbo for it. Of course, the exhaust manifold already fits, and we'll just have to kind of break into it and see
Get
what
your
we
hands
come out
on
of.
one and see what you can do, yeah.
I know PACCAR, company is really pushing the engine. What I've heard of it, other than a few small minor issues, that they're actually a pretty decent engine and really fuel efficient. So we hope to build off of that.
A relatively new engine platform too,
Uh-huh.
compared to Cummins, which has been around for
Forever.
100 years
Uh-huh.
at least. So that's the front of the truck, the engine, the back of the truck, and everything. I feel from like the frame rails out and down is still the same stuff that's been here since the 389 platform. I don't really see anything that's major changed.
I don't even
It's
even
mainly
from
just
the
body,
right, mainly body, and you got to say something about that. At least they're trying to keep the owner operator in spec by trying to offer some type of hood
And breather.
that everybody's that classic look.
Peterbilt did not have to do that. As much as everybody I've read and people have speculated, they did not have to put breathers on here. They did not have to keep a hood. So I think we should be fortunate that we still have a hood. It could have been just a slope straight to the bumper.
I agree. I think there's a lot of areas that PDI can move forward on the 589.
So super exciting. Well, thanks for chiming in on the video, and that's pretty much a wrap for our honest review of the 2024 Peterbilt 589. I don't know if it's going to be called a 25. Peterbilt's kind of weird with their year models. Like I said earlier, this thing was made in October of 22, so this one's almost a year old now. And it's crazy that this thing was made in October of last year, because I don't think not many people really knew about them then.
Right.
They definitely kept it under wraps, and it only has 400 miles on it, so definitely pretty cool that Peterbilt was able to keep that much of a secret going on, because everybody knew some change is coming, and here it is right in front of us. So if you guys have any questions, drop me an email. Comment down below. What are your honest thoughts on this? I mean, it's a big difference. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure you subscribe. Check out PDI. They're always down in the description below. And make sure you smash that like button. We'll see you later. Peace.